And I carry shoulder down for you, don't want my baby come. I don't make my smile lose, I don't make my smile lose. I don't carry shoulder down for you, don't want my baby come.
Hey,
I must confess. Baby, you come for your family, you come. So see me anyhow, mama. So see me anyhow, my darling. I know you know easy to understand me. You know I love you, but I'm always on the road. Girl, you put me in. And I know you want to. And I carry shoulder down for you, don't want my baby come. I don't think that man that lose, so my love me, my man. I don't carry shoulder down for you, don't want my baby come. One more. You think you know what I'm putting for my head? No, I'm putting for my head. I'm not alive. I think I get so feel like in my life. I must confess. I must confess. You think you know what I'm putting for my head? No, I'm putting for my head. I'm not alive. I think I get so feel like in my life. I must confess.
More music on trendybeats.com.
Okay, folks, so we are back. We're sorry for the delay due to some, like I said, some technical issues that we had. But everyone is in studio now. Mr. Monique Shen, our guest. We have a special guest today on the radio. I'd like to say welcome. This is the conversation with the vision bearer, Kia Humanitarian Foundation and Communications Network, Mr. Christopher Kia. And we don't want to talk much because we're already out of time. And so, General, where Mr. Kishen, you there? I'd like to say welcome to the show. Mr. Kia, good evening and good afternoon from your end. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
all right. Thank you, guys. And we're very sorry for the delay, and we had a little technical problem, but thank God we were able to get it straight. And today is Sunday, and they today was did again. Don't tell me I'm losing track now for everything. Today, the 16th of March. We want to say happy Sunday. We want to say thanks for tuning in. And this is the Kia Radio FM 95.9. And the show is the conversation with this vision bearer of the Kia Humanitarian Organization and the Kia Network. Today, our topic is what on water and sanitation. And we also want to welcome our guest, Bachibo. I'm sorry, Kelvin. His name is Kelvin J. Bachibo, a sanitation expert. So please listen. We got someone on here today who going to talk to us when it comes to healthcare and water and sanitation. But I want to welcome my brother and friend, my co-host, Mr. Andrew Kia. Our CEO is in the back. He will be coming on later on. Andrew, you got the mic.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Kishen, and thank you, guys in studio, Jefferson, and our guests, and our Liberian listening public. We want to welcome you to another edition of Health Concern, which is water and sanitation. On a discussion, it has been a going discussion point for some time now, and it's very key. It's for to the well-being of our people. So we want you to just listing out things that concern us, things that affect our society. We have other brothers in the back who will be able to also be able to comment on the concern that we have. We just want to welcome you, and let's do the show together. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, I'm going to bring our CEO on maybe. And Chris, can you hear us there?
I'm here. How you doing?
Okay, thank you. Welcome to the show. We're sorry for the delay. And it was a technical problem. And do you have openings before we go to our guests?
No, I just want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for the guests for bringing on a guest in studio to help with the conversation. And sorry for the little technical problem that we had in studio. And look forward to a very nice conversation today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go straight up to our guest and let him just introduce himself. He's the best person to tell us how to pronounce his name and who is this wonderful Kelvin. Welcome, Kelvin.
Yeah, so you can just adjust the mic, come close to the mic, and speak so that everybody hears you. Yeah, just speak to the mic. Okay.
Am I live?
Yeah, you're live. Go ahead.
Live?
Yeah.
Right. So my name is Kelvin J. Bajibo. I'm a watch expert. And then started a watch career from after I graduated from high school. I went to the Ghana School of Water and Sanitation, Kaswa New Road. That's where I graduated from, and I came back to Liberia. So my first job I ever had was hygiene promotion with Medical Team International, MTI. It's an American organization from the US of A. So I was serving with them as a hygiene promoter. From there, they split the counties into various zones. So I was also serving as a zone promoter, zone health promoter. So from there, after the funding went low, project ended. And then I also moved to another organization. And this organization I went to Mercy Corps, and Mercy Corps had but then we had the crisis in Ivory Coast, where refugee left Ivory Coast and they fled because of the war, and they came to Liberia. They was in Saclay, PA, and all around the belt, the Nimba belt, Grand G there, River G, signed in Maryland, there where they were. So I work with Mercy Corps. Mercy Corps brought a system they call the Scan K water system that you can purify a creek water into a mineral water using both chambers, the coagulant and flocculant chambers. So I was the one that took Mercy Corps from Monrovia here because we had that project. It was an emergency water response project. And then they needed to go up to Tapita. They needed to go to OUPA. They needed to go to Opoha in Grand G there. They needed to also work in Bound Refugee Camp, which was the biggest refugee camp, one of the biggest refugee camps in Liberia by then. So we started the process. We started purifying creek waters into mineral water for refugees who fled a neighboring country, Ivory Coast. And then when we got through with the process, because that was an emergency water treatment plan, after we got through with the process, then we started doing the hand dug and the boreholes. But then I want to caution Liberian today because most often, for example, you buy your land and then you just tell maybe the well digger or the technician, put my well right here. And these things are causing some problems. What happened is that when you look at the situation, you will get to understand there are steps that you have to do to set up a well or a borehole. And those steps are there. Once you are not using those steps, you have issues. Now,
okay, Kelvin.
Yeah.
And I don't want us to because when we come to ourselves, you will answer, you will explain, and then we can't even ask you a question. And want to say thank you again for coming. And ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are listening to us by Facebook and YouTube or the radio, we want you to just glue to the radio. Don't leave. We got surprises, and you will also call in and ask questions. What we're discussing here, this is the Kia Humanitarian Organization, and Christopher Kia is the CEO. He's the founder. He and his wife, he decided to get into to help when it comes to agriculture, education, water, sanitation, and also health. And we've been discussing other issues, but these wonderful issues, water and sanitation, is very, very important when it comes to our communities, because it's also health, and it's also when we get everything right, and sometimes typhoid and diarrhea, all these things can be eradicated. But before we come to you to ask you some questions, and Andrew, do you have anything to add on? And maybe Andrew will be the first to start with you, and then we'll go around, and then Chris will ask you a question. What are some of the problems? This is not politics. We really want to get the facts, because sometimes the problem from the citizens, although the government is there like a father to guide us, but maybe ourselves have a problem and whatsoever, and we'll ask all these questions because we really want to know what are some of the things that government and the people of Liberia need to do when it comes to the water and sanitation. Let me turn it over to Andrew here.
I want to welcome our guest in studio, Kelvin Bajibo. I think that's the way it is pronounced, right? I was listening to Kevin from the onset. I said, "Oh man, wait, yeah, don't release your arsenal. Hold on to all the bullets before you run out of shots." So this is a major topic. It's a health concern. I'm glad maybe this might not be the first or the last of your appearance here. We want to get to the issue on a bread and butter approach, so that our Liberian people can understand the challenges that we are going through. Thank you for your experience in the field. We will have more to discuss this evening with the Liberian public. So let me reserve my shots for now, because I will still hear you out before I start to fire.
Okay, so let's get that. This time we're going to put the CEO into CEO. What do you expect for this show? How you expect this show to be like today? And I know you have some question for Kelvin. And Kelvin, again, I said this is Christopher Kier, the guy who is actually with the vision, but we are just there to help for him to realize his vision. And do you have anything to add on, Chris?
No, I just want to hear more from Kevin. That will give rise to any questions or concerns I have. So,
okay, good. So, Chris, we're going to go back to Kelvin. We're going to go back to you. But before we get to you, as usually, we'll let them know what's going on in Liberia. And Jefferson, can you tell us what is trending in Liberia right now and the past week? What some of the most important things? What are some of the good things the government doing, and what are some of the good things the citizens, or some of the bad things that you think that need to be fixed? Let us just know some of these things before we can start. You're mute.
For that. So, like I said, like we'll always be on the radio talking. There are some good things, some good strides the government has made, and I will emphasize again on the road, from Jimmy Carr Road to Sion Town, the government has been able to at least put drainages on the side, so that when the road is built, there will be no water that will set on the road. And at that Sion Town, where it's always sticky whenever the rain comes, so the government on the other side from Douala coming to that Sion Town, they finish with the cover there, and then on the side from town to Douala, that same Sion Town, they put in the cover. I think they're trying to cover it now. While I was coming to town, they're trying to cover it so that they can start, putting the dirt before they do the asphalt. So that's far. That's how far the government has gone when it comes to the road. And so good news, the government, the Japanese government and the Liberian government signed an agreement just last week. The road, the corridor from Freeport to the Vitan, the Gabriel Tucker Bridge, the Japanese government is about to do the 1.9 kilometers of road. So the same stretch you see from Freeport to Red Light is the same road now they're about to do, because according to them, that road, when it is built, is going to ease the traffic, the traffic congestion, which is a good thing. It's a big blow for the government. It's a big blow for Liberia. It's a good news for the country. Once that road is done, that means those going to Douala using that route to go the Bannersville area, there will be, a very free flow of traffic, easy asset, to move it home, which is a very good thing. And I think when we told that the road, it might start in early April, that road might start, and it's a good thing. So kudos to the government. Yes, again, from Vietown to Freeport, the road corridor there. Coming to town, I met the guys are working. They are in between Petty Town and Red Jets, LPRC and Prestige Motor there. The machine is there. The guys are there. They are working, which is a good thing for the government. So information we can verify is that the Liberian legislature, under the speakership of the majority bloc speaker Richard Cohn, suspended additional lawmakers, including embattled speaker Fonati Kofa, which we try to reach out, but we can still get the final, the actual information. But that's the news we're getting from the legislature, which we hope to verify that on tomorrow to talk about it. So far, so far so good. That's the good thing, and other things happening in country. That's the latest we can give for now.
All right, thank you very much, and that's a good news for our people because we need our road going all the way and take you to Cape Mount. You can go to Bombing Hills, you can go through that wonderful Douala, and that's a good thing. And when you come to the house, I call it the political house. That is where all politicians sits. Yeah.
Just quickly, in just a minute, Douala, Kia Radio have been flagging the issue of diet. We talk about sanitation, the waste in Douala, we've been flagging it. Thankfully, the Monrovia City Corporation have been able to go to Douala, and I can tell you now, Douala, there's no diet. The mountains of diets you've been seeing there is clear now. Douala is clear, no diet in Douala again. So that's a good news.
Well, that's a good thing. That is what we need to be doing to at least to remind our government to do certain things. And when I just talk about the house is a political house. These are all politicians. I call them politicos. So, but that's a good. But let's go to Kelvin.
But
yeah, come
before we get to Kevin, Kevin, we just wanted to set the pace. I don't know whether you've been monitoring us with a couple of discussions we've been having for the past weeks. Water and sanitation is a major crisis that Liberia is faced with. The government has made some strides, but there are challenges in our society with respect to lack of more investment in our sector. They've also had major issue of poor governance when it comes to being able to bring forth safely drinking water system for our people and sanitation. There is also some challenges that are very obvious about the behavioral challenges where people there's this widespread open defecation by people, the bad practices that also bring about sanitation issues, affect the water and then sanitation. So these are concerns that we've been discussing. But for your role and for the experiences that you've had in the Liberian society after the war, these are major issues that continue on a daily basis with government strides, international community, their contribution to the process. I just want you to come in as to your contribution and clarity on this whole issue with respect to water and sanitation, which is a major crisis in Liberia.
All right. Thank you
so much. Calvin. Yeah, Kami.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we will start laying the basis. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we will firstly talk about water. Then from there we can move to sanitation and hygiene promotion. So when it comes to the issue of water in Liberia, when it comes to the private sector, where you have, for example, Care Foundation is implementing a WASH project, she will go through all of the formalities because she needs that to be able to use as a working tool to govern accordingly to move forward. Mm-hmm. Then once those procedures have been met, you will have quality water. For example, if you decide to do a hand dug well or a borehole, we have sizes covered. The very first thing is that, like I said, Care Foundation decided to enter, for example, let's say Douala community or maybe Broadville, and decide to do a hand pump or a drill well there. The very first thing is community engagement. After they have done their entry proceeding with the government or the government arm that is responsible, the MPhil, the National Public Health Institute. Now, after that, they will also be working with environmental branches. For example, maybe Broadway had a clinic. Once there is a clinic in that area, they also have to work with the environmental technicians who are based in that area to do the needful. Now, you do the community engagement process, wherein you meet the community chairperson, you meet older people who live in that place before. There are some other questions that you need to ask about how you can get along. For an example, you will ask the question to the older people, or maybe the oldest person who ever live in that community. They will have to tell you as to whether where you are about to embark on your project, as to whether they ever have a grave site. That's one. As to whether they have a dump site. That's two. And as to whether they ever have maybe an old toilet or a drop pit. Now, when you have done that, and then they just tell you, say, oh, this place we have now, all of what you asked for, we have them around here. They will have to give you another place that is secure. And that place they are giving you, there should be a measurement, which is 30 meters. And that 30 meters is 96 feet. That 96 feet should be far from the gravesite. And you should also be looking at the geographical location of the well you want to, to put down. Because if a grave is up the hill and you are putting a well down the hill, definitely get at the back of your mind that you are going to be probably drinking the dead body water. The water has its own way to move on the ground. It has its own way to move on the ground. So with that, you got to strategize to see how far you got to put the well either over the grave, and you collect your 96 feet, which is 30 meters from there. That could be either a grave site, or it could be a dump site or an old latrine. Once you collect that you set that aggregate, then you start to move forward. Now, when the process starts, meaning that if you start maybe drilling that well or doing a hand dug well, the first thing you do is that when you hit the first water, you collect this water sample and take it to infill. The reason being is that you want to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
So when you take the water sample, you have to do both pre and post test before you complete that water or to complete that well. So you take the water sample and then take it to infill. And infill will do or NIFO, meaning that they will do all of the water quality analysis, run the analysis test. After the analysis test, it comes back to you and tell you as to whether that water is safe for drinking or as to whether we can relocate. Because in that water quality analysis test will tell you, that test has been ran, it will tell you that the water is good or the water is not good. And in the water quality test, at the end of the day, there are things that they'll be looking at. They'll be looking at the nitrogen, they'll be looking at they'll be looking at the phosphor, the calcium, they'll be looking at also, they'll be looking at the pH, which is the phenol rare in the water. These are things that they'll be looking at the allium and other things in the water. So they will do that whole work, do your report, stamp it, and then give it back to you. Then you can continue from where you start, because when you're doing the test, you're not going to continue digging until that test has been ran, and then later on they give you permit to continue from that process. Then I'll take you back to our own labyrinth well. For example, I, Kelvin, decided to do a well in my yard, right? Now I'm telling the technician that, yeah, I want my well to be here. I'm not taking into consideration maybe probably the landscape of the area, because it happens. Most especially those or Indian companies that come to drill. Anyway, you tell them to put my well, the man gets and the man want his money. Yeah. So that man will not tell you, say, oh yeah, let's go this side. But they got some other good Liberian companies. Like one of the local Liberian companies that work with this group, SCF, they call them GUI, groundwater exploration. They are veteran in water in a drill well, a hand dug well. They will tell you exactly that you have given a place to do your well, but this place is not good for you, because their issue here is to give you water. They don't just want to do a borehole or do a hand dug well where at the end of the day you cannot get a yield, meaning that you can't get water because you pay money for water. So many times you will see that the person will tell you, "Oh, let's do my well this side and let's do it this way," and that is wrong. Sometimes you will say that you want to do this way, but the technician needs to come in to give his own input, because he's a technician. That's his area. And many times we just do a well in our yard without water quality testing. You dig the well, after doing the well, you put your cover, you put your hand on it, and there you go. You don't know what is on the ground. There is no pre-test, there is no post-test. So at the end of the day, you go look, people at the community level, they're drinking the water, saying they don't come one day. They're drinking the water, and then as they're drinking the water, small, they start to have issues. small they start to have issues. Even I can remember that when we were ACF, we had issues like that before. There was an old well, there was an old grave, that the people showed the spot, and we did accommodate entry properly, but they were not fair enough to explain to us, and people who needed to be on the ground were not on the ground to give us the full information. And we went through that. At the end of the day, we wanted to understand the well was done. People started drawing, and then before we go look, people started getting sick. They started reducing. Their body weight started dropping. And then the lady who was there, Ansfor said, why there's one community, people are getting sick from this community and stuff. So what she intended doing, collect the water sample, bring the water sample. They came to Enfield, did the water quality testing. It's still telling us the water is positive. But then we don't have all of the instruments as compared to Geneva. So what they did was they collected the water sample and sent it to Geneva. It's where they detected that, yes, indeed, there was a formaldehyde into the water.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had to close down that well immediately and then find another spot to do a new borehole. So in this case, though we know times are hard, we know things are not really working, but I think if we do the proper thing, we will be safe. Because everything that do in the water, even you want to drink, is coming into the body. And when the water is not good at the end of the day, you find out that you're going to get sick from the water you drink. And in fact, water reacts faster than food. Water reacts faster than food. Food will take its own set time, but water doesn't do that. So these are some of the problems we've been faced with. So you find out that when it comes to the private sector, where you have NGOs are doing hand dug well or boreholes, you will see that they will go through the proper channel, right? And then they do the needful. But then when it comes to individual, just do my well, and let's see how we can move forward. So I want to say today in this always that what I want to say is that we need to look at all of these things. We know that times are hard, but taking that $100, taking that $125 US to go to Enfield for your own health, I think is beneficiary. Because once you get sick, you're not going to work. Once you get sick, you're not going to move. So many times you see people, majority of us, we don't know that we're supposed to do the needful by getting the water sample, carrying it, and taking it to Enfield for Enfield to do, the water quality analysis, to run the analysis. So these are some of the situations. Like we remember quite recently, with the director, Francis, from Enfield. There was a borehole that somebody did, and then they have to call me to advise because the water color changed. The person went 180 feet because they want to do mineral water factory. But guess what? The water color has changed. The water color went to 28. Very brown. You can't even wash clothes with it. You wash anywhere clothes, the color remains the same. It remains brown. And we took that water sample and carried the water. It never had how you call it, smell, but it had color. So at the end result, we took it to Enfield. They did the testing, everything. When they got through the testing, the water was good, but then the color was 28. So at the end result, this fellow now will have to buy a machine that costs almost $3,600 US to go through the filtration method now. You got to filter before you start processing. So these are things that we need to know. But the public, at times we need to be on the radio saying these things so that we can get familiar with it. Like, bro, man, I want the Bini.
Okay, by the way, let me ask you this. I know we got some time. And now what you're saying here is that before I even try to put a well in my area, because like community people calling, oh, we need well, we need this. What some of the things that we need to do? What we can't just put well, start to dig anywhere. What are some of the things the communities really need to get involved in? Or because when they ask me, I was not going to raise the money. Boop, we put wells all over the place. What are some of the things that we need to do as community dwellers?
So, like I said, before you do a well in a community, the first thing you need to do is to have the community engagement. They got people who have been living in that community for a very long time. They're in out of the community. So that's why when you go to do a well, don't just go to say, oh, we can't do well for you. We won't put. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
go
ahead.
Okay. Not just that we came to do a well for you and everybody will be jubilating. That's not the situation. The situation is for the people to be safe. So you got to do the needful. Call if for example, it's in a village, call the town chief, call the cheerleader, call the elders, let them come. They know their village. They have been living there before. You want to go do a project and walk away. You raise the money and do your project and walk away. But guess what? If you don't have that information, what we are afraid is what we're going to get into. Okay, and do where yeah, they were killing people. Because we know like, they can politicize issue. Or they can they were they are killing people. But if you get in the community and do the engagement and asking them, you need to take your time with them. Take your time with them, ask them, you need to tell us where we need to put the well. And in fact, we need to know where your grave size is. Because I can remember back in the days, there are a lot of areas that people just bury all in the communities, and we know that. They bury all. Now my pa so we just bury right by the horse here. Now my uncle, let's bury him right here. And those things cause serious problem for the community. Because when you even go to help the community to get in water, at the end of the day, where are you going to put it? John Brown on a man right here. Peter Paul right here. How do you give the water to the people? So you need to do the community engagement. That's the needful.
Okay, another thing again. Enfield comes there to check, or you got to call them to come and check this water.
What you're doing, for example, like I was saying, if you're working with an institution, like I'm working with Care Foundation, I'm the technician on ground, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The very first thing, if we're working in Nimba, the county health team is supposed to know I'm working in Nimba. We have to have that dialogue meeting, that 1 or 2 days dialogue meeting, telling them what we come for. And after we have that dialogue meeting, we'll be telling them in our proposals how many wells we're going to be doing. You're not going to hide from them. You're going to tell them everything that you're going to do. So you're going to tell them, for example, La PA1 will be doing 1 well. Your PA2 will be doing 1 well. Maybe Bewale will be doing 1 well, like that. So if you have like 10 wells, it's being a portion. Sometimes what can happen, the county health can come and tell you, say, yeah, we agree that you want to do this work. But then we have other communities that already having 4 wells. Okay. So let's go back to the planning process and see how we can divert the well to another community that are only having 1. Because that's the planning section you're going to do together, the work session, the working section. So with that, you can't leave the environmental team up at the county level. They have to be in full swing along with you. Every activity that you're going to take on, they have to be with you to guide you in the process. Because you can't implement, and they are the government on ground, and they need to be part of the process to make sure that what you're going to do, that you achieve it properly. So you can't leave the environmental technician or the environmental people, that department, you can't leave that department on. They're going to work with you from start to end. And you're going to, when the well gets started, they're going to collect that water sample. As soon as they hit water, they will tell the technician to stop. Collect that sample, because if you allow the technician to continue going, and then they do the sample check, right? And the water is not good, you have spoiled some money. You have wasted resources. So they will also tell you that, say you hit water, we collect the water sample and go do the testing. Give up 2 days or 3 days, do the water testing and get back to you. When they collect that water sample, go to do the testing. When the water is telling them, yes, I'm good to go, the technician continue from that point.
And so that's there are a lot of wells in Liberia that would never went through this process. And sure. Enfi goes around to say, okay, since this is just a community well, let us go and test the water in everywhere, in every community to see what is going. Because as you said, sometimes it's a toilet around there, dead bodies and whatsoever, and we're just drinking, we're using it. Because we're not selling the water, it's community water. The government, that organization, Enfi, that goes around sometimes to test this water to see if the community actually get the right thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Enfi's role and responsibility is to do the needful, like you're saying, right? But what happens is that sometimes, like for Liberia now, almost all of our activity is donor funding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's funding. So that's why even when this issue started in America, it's a complete blow to Liberia, because if you check our budget, 80% of our budget are human resource and administrative costs. So we depend on donor funding to do these things. And trust me, these things can only be done when donor funding is available. It can only be done when donor funding is available. When there is no funding, the man not get gas in Moruba. The man does not have, like I said, he does not have the chemical to do the testing. I mean, we're not do tests because the chemical allows the man to explode, right? The reagents allow the man to explode. Now you check the office, the man does not have reagent. You get me? So at the end of the day, the man is sitting in the office there, and in the morning, the man goes to work. In the evening, he comes back home. Then that's when the man goes to work. In the evening, come out. So when no donor goes to the office and says we cannot do well or want to do rehabilitation, because some donors in their plan they have new works and rehabilitation. They have new works and rehabilitation. So they will tell you want to rehabilitate maybe like 10 old wells, and then we want to do 2 or 3 new wells. Now it's where the environmental people comes in now. Enfield comes in and say, okay, so you want to do this? We got a technician at the county level. They will take you through the process. Now they collect to do that work, that rehabilitation. Now they will collect the water sample again, carry it and test it. From there, they continue from that point. Maybe probably they will use the chlorine because the water have been sitting there, been stagnated. Clean it well. After you finish cleaning the well, you set the filtration bed. After you finish setting the filtration bed, you do your chlorination. Then you close the well. And then you will tell the people, no drinking now. What we'll do is that we pump the water for 1 or 2 days. After 1 or 2 days, because you had a fresh one coming out. Then from there, you can tell them, even the new well, it happens like that. The people don't just drink the water on the spot. You tell them, draw the water, wash it with dish, cook with air, or because we boil. After some days, before they start to use it, meaning the old one are in the well, have already come out, and the new ones are coming up. Now you can start to use the new ones. So that's how it looks like.
And Andrew, come here, Andrew.
Yeah. Kevin, I want to thank you for your presentation so far. You sound very, very practical about the concern that we have in Liberia. You sound very knowledgeable about the challenges that we have in Liberia. Some of us might not be in Liberia now, but the well-being of that society is the concern of my brother, who is the vision bearer, in terms of future intervention and working with the government of Liberia. Just what you've been talking about is the same. I think the contributing factors to this crisis of water and water and sanitation crisis in Liberia is just strictly to the point that we are talking about. And what I sense is that if government, do a very huge investment, in collaboration with the private sector, most of these problems can be alleviated in terms of the working tools that are required to really pinpoint the checklist of what is needed to really address the problem. One of the things I've also been able to deduce from your explanation is about that poor governance, from the perspective of the government in terms of there are the weak regulatory framework that are also lacking. Now, if we can have just what you've been able to highlight, I'm sure the government is listening to us, and we wish to have our brother Mo Ali someday to come and be able to also highlight, government own initiative that they're taking to address the issues. Because had it not been any attempt on the part of the government, all of what you are trying to highlight in terms of Enfield, in terms of those are all regulatory bodies. I think that government is more or less trying to really get in frame to be able to address this problem. And then the issue of the behavioral challenges that we talk about in terms of the ugly practices of our own people with open open defecation. Now, that's just not the problem. One of the issues that you just highlighted had to do with, the inability for people to work with the community, that engagement to be able to know, how do we obtain or save drinking water tomorrow? These are when you work with the community, you know exactly what the challenges are and where to begin from with your assessment to be able to help our own people. So with that said, on the overall, what do you think where do we stand? You have been in the field. You have been in Liberia. You have seen exactly what is going on. In terms of prospects, what do you think where we are that Liberia finds itself now in the face of the crisis that we're talking about?
Okay, thank you so much. So with this kind of situation, normally what happens is that before a partner leaves the country or end the project, we got the exit strategies. Those exit strategies are strategies that have been used that government can use the regulatory body to work with the community. For example, you construct a hand pump and you got a wash committee. The wash committee comprises of 7 persons. You have the chair, you have the co-chair, you have the secretary, you have the 2-pump mechanic, you have the pump caretaker, and like that. So those people have been trained to take care of the pump. And the pump will be regulated For example, we say the pump opens at 6 o'clock and close by 10. And then it opens at 4 o'clock and close by 7. So now, when the institution is leaving, what they do, they go back to government and tell them, say, oh, you got to come in with the exit strategy because according to the budget, we have absorbed all of what we came to do. So we are leaving. Or we are taking another trend. Maybe we'll be going to nutrition. We will not be doing wash again. But on the overall, they will still be doing the software component of wash. So the software component of wash make us to also understand that we need to wash our hands. There are few things that we need to know. Now, for example, the software component, you will not have the time to give everybody bucket. But then there was a strategy put to place that we can use the reef. You know the reef, right?
Mm-hmm.
Use the reef. We bore the reef. We piercing it because it got compartment. The reef got compartment. So you're going to bust that compartment, and then maybe 3 or 4 compartments. It will take almost like a bucket of water, and then you put it. You open it either with knife or with nail or with something. When you open it, you're going to clean maybe a piece of steak, fresh steak, cut it, clean the nose, and shove it there. And then it automatically becomes a faucet. Once you take up that steak from there, you will see that water pulling out. And then you wash your hands with it. When you get through, you close it. And then installing that reef, under the reef, you have to also dig a hole, maybe probably 1 foot, and put some crushed little rock in it. Maybe it could be a lot of rock. Put it in it. As you wash your hand, the water will not roll down because we have children at the community level who plays on the ground. So once you wash your hands, that water is going to go down in the soil and go under that rocks and be there. And no germs can live on that rock because the sun will shine on that rock and be very hot. And even if a child touches it, they may not really, contact something. So the exit strategy is there to help government. Now they may build you a house. Maintain your house now with going. So it's left for you now to see how best you can now go back. That's why you have the environmental science or the environmental technicians at the county level and at the district level. Because in Liberia, all of the district has environmental or technicians that repair the pumps, that move from community to community. But then guess what? Like I said to you, they can't be effective because the movement plan is lacking. The movement plan is lacking. So the exit strategy, you always see that the exit strategy will be poor. The reason is that we depend on donor funding to run our activities. So these are some of the problems that we face with.
So like I was saying, so I mean, you agree that it's a major crisis in the country.
It's a major crisis.
And that government needs to actually, I mean, with all of these issues about you say funding being cut, government now needs to really put more money into water and sanitation, especially the infrastructure that has completely been undermined since the war. And if nothing is done, it's a lot that will, more or less lead us into more issues in our country. But I really want to commend you. We have more to discuss. Let me give the other people the chance to chime in.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeff. Alert the audience so we can invite them in studio if they want to participate, so we can all be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
All right, see you. Thank you. So this is the conversation with the Vision Bearer here on Care Radio. It comes on every Sunday. And so for those of you following the show right now via radio, or you're following us on Facebook or YouTube, to participate, the numbers are rolling on the screen. But those of you in radio land, the numbers are 0770 573 477, 0770 573 477, 0881 871 670, and the WhatsApp line +231 886 68 1198. Our guest today is a sanitation expert. His name is Mr. Kelvin J. Bajibo. He's in studio. So if you're there, you want to follow the show, you can call 0770 573 477, 0770 573 477, 0881 871 670, 0881 871 670, +231 886 68 1198 are the numbers. The lines are already booming.
Yeah, so hold on, hold the horses first. We actually want to probably go another 5 or 10 minutes in the program before opening the lines.
Okay.
Yes, Calvin, this is Chris. Thank you so much for coming in studio today. We really appreciate it. I want to congratulate you on your dispensation of all your opulent knowledge in the water and sewer topics here that we have been discussing. I think you actually struck so many vital points in our discussion, previous discussions. But one thing that is actually I was missing, what we have been doing over the years is the testing of the waters underground before people are allowed to drink it. That's a very key point. I think that's one of the issues that have been causing some internal problems when it comes to the TAF or cholera and other water-related illnesses in Liberia. So, as an expert or somebody who is actually knowledgeable, will you actually recommend opening or digging a well on top of let me see, on top of a hill? Because a lot of like a lot of the drainages and graveyards are actually in Liberia in the lower level areas. So will you actually recommend us digging at the top of the hill? Actually, because from research, it said the good water is actually under the ground, on top of the under the mountain or hill area. So will you actually recommend the government looking into that, or our community actually pursuing that other aspect of
Okay.
well?
All right. Thank you very much. So what happened here is that we are looking for water. We're not looking for who.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So when German Agro Action, I did a well for them in Sino, during the Ebola crisis at the ETU.
Okay.
So the engineer from German Agro was Vani, and
Okay.
then they gave me whatever in the contract to do the work, and I went out to do the work. So we went. He said he wanted 60 feet. So I told him, I said, we're not looking for a hole, we're looking for water. He said, what do you mean? I said, because the feet, we could go the feet and we not see water.
Mhm.
Or you could go 10 feet or even 3 feet and bottle of water, and that water will never get dry. They got some well like that. So I don't want you to ask for hole. I want you to ask for water, and not just water, but safe drinking water. He said, what? And then I could go in 2014. We went there. There's a guy from ACF. They call him Fire Bangalo. He's one of the technicians too. Myself, another guy called Charles Waterspoon from Sino. He's related to the this Waterspoon who usually be on the radio. They're from Lexington, from Lexington Angle there. And then another guy called Big Dali or Nangbe. We did the work. We just went like 15 feet. And trust me, we have a common machine to pull that water off, and the common machine could not fit in the water. 15 feet on the ground. I mean, we met the water vein, right? When you hit the water vein, you can know, because it won't permit you. We had a submersible pump, the sewer pump pumping up, and the water cannot get dry. So the guy said, boy, according to the contract we have, you're supposed to go. I say, my brother, you're an engineer, I understand, but water and sanitation is different. It's a different fee altogether. We're looking for water, we're not looking for hole. So what do I mean? So now, the community engagement process guide the team to do the right thing. So specifically, you don't have to do a well on the hill, but you need a community of people to guide you in the process, because they live there. The cultural barrier is there. They know exactly what's happening at the community level. They know their community. They will take you to this place and say, let's work here, because they know what they've been doing there. But you are not there. Now, the next thing, quite recently, I can remember I did another borehole somewhere. When I tried talking to the guy, I did a borehole to Cooper's Farm. And then the guys came. When I tried talking to the land owner, the guy is saying that, oh, you're put it where? So I said, this place up the hill. Can we go down? Because what I'm seeing the water vein down here. You see, I'll do the well there. The minute they drill, they went to 10 feet. When they reach 10 feet, they hit a rock. They enter in the rock. From there, straight, to 69 meters, 114 feet, approximately 114 feet, 214 feet, I mean, and they went there. Now imagine that well. When I tried telling the lady, I said, we need to use some metal pump on the well to pump the water because the hand pump, the after the hand pump will pump the water, but then guess what? It's going to get heavy or heavier. The reason being is that connecting the iron hole raw, for example, you're connecting 18 pieces of iron hole raw. It's not a small weight. Now she said, oh, install the pump. You install a pump. So we install the pump. Guess what? At the end of the day, nobody can live for that pump. I mean, you got to go in the gym. You have to go in the gym. So now, with the situation, she said, but what can we do now? So I say, already late. So we can do a reservoir here now, and then you pump the water up. So what am I saying in short is that we don't need a hill. All we need is to do the proper community engagement process to follow that format. Once you follow that format, you can even go right behind somebody's horse and just go 10 feet. One is the water vein. You hit it, the water will not get dry. And the thing about water is that it got two ways. The water, it add up during the rainy season. We got something called the started water column, where the water begins from to go to the bottom. It's the started water column. So that started water column tells you to go to the bottom. When you do your calculation in there, the water you got in the well comes times 2 during the rainy season. So if you get 1 cup of water, it multiplies times 2. So you got 2 cups of water. So you'll notice that the water table will rise during the rainy season. And when we enter the dry time, the water tables drop. And some of the problem we face with is that people don't really think on what time to do well. You don't do well anytime you want to do it. If you want to do a well that the well will not get dry, wait for your February end to March ending and do your well. You got better water. It's not going to run dry. But trust me, if you say, oh yeah, December, let's do well, remember that you just from rainy season and small water sitting in the soil around there.
Okay.
As soon as they hit the water, oh, we're not bottle of water. That water is a sulfate water, trust me. It's a sulfate water. The technician who digging with hand and going on, if that the machine will continue. But the man who was doing a hand dog well, when he bottle that water, he put a small and I got the water pump machine on it, the socket small. He go down small, his socket small again, he say, but we already bottle water.
So Kevin, yeah, that's a good point. So that gives rise to my second point here. They have open wells and they have the hand pumps. Open wells are really dominant in Liberia in the communities, and I have been seeing a lot of water being flooded back into these open wells, which is really not good for the community to drink. So will you open wells and drill pumps or hand pumps? Will you what's that? Is there any type of similarity and disparity in the management and usage in Liberia? You actually, or they bear the same consequences when it comes to safe drinking water?
There is. So for the open well, the shallow wells, right?
Right.
There are things that you can do to the boreholes and that of the hand dog well that got hand pump on it. You don't do it to the shallow wells.
Okay.
Now, for example, the shallow wells was dug and there is no cover in it. You can't chlorinate that water. If you chlorinate that water, all of the insects are hanging on the wall. Everything will drop in the well. Yeah, the chlorine definitely going to kill the roaches. If that how you call it say again other insects, the next one you will see floating water. So that's why you don't chlorinate a well that does not have cover in it, because you will have things living in the well. Once you put the chlorine inside and close it off, the heat will not chlorine. Before daybreak, everything will just drop in the well, and you will see them floating water. You will be in a drop bucket. When you draw in it, you will see in the drop bucket.
All right.
Now, when it comes to the hand dog well, where you had a cover in it and you place a hand pump over it, and after the hand pump over it. Now, to keep that water safe, the very first thing you need to do an apron. You need to do an apron. The apron is that concrete that people put around it. You lay your block, you do your measurement. For the angel stand, I will tell you, say 14 feet. You soak away pit, meaning that when you do the circumference 6 feet inside, from there you do a long 1 foot, and then that 1 foot you're doing, you send it down for 14 feet for the water to go through the flow drain and go down. So in that case, the first thing you need to observe is that when you start to pump the water and people start to draw the water, look in the apron as to whether there is crack in the apron. As to whether there is crack in the apron. When there's a crack in the apron, you need to use concrete to close the crack, because you will see the ground starts to crack. Many times it's happening. And we can see it when you go to the pump, you see the ground cracking and other things. You need to close it up. When you close it up, the next thing you do is that you take your measurement. You will use maybe a tape root, right? Use a tape root. You measure the water. Know the water volume within the well before you apply chlorine. You need to know the water volume in the well before you apply chlorine. You don't just apply chlorine anyhow. You don't just do it. So after you have closed that technical area that got crack on the well, then you chlorinate the well. And then the next morning, people start to draw. But if that hose remain like that, the water is not safe. People will get sick.
All right. Thank you very much, Calvin. It's about 3:30 in the U.S. We want for Jeff to open the lines and for us to get the audience participation on the show. So Jeff, you can go ahead and open the lines for people that want to participate.
All right, folks. So again, is the conversation with the vision bearer, Kia Humanitarian Foundation, here on Kia Radio. The lines are active now: 0770-573-477, 0881-871-670. Today,
so that's for new callers. Actually,
yes, for new callers, I'm about to say. For new callers, I have your numbers. Those of you who've been calling, I have the numbers already. So if you call today, I'll verify the numbers. All right. I'm definitely going to verify the numbers. Let's get this first person right here. Good evening.
Yeah.
Your name and where you call from? See, okay, you here? Okay. What's your name? James Ria?
Yeah,
James Ria from... Where are you, James?
Yeah. I hear the conversation because here concerning the situation school community here.
Go ahead.
Yeah. As a means of government, we got every Saturday that will spend off to take there we show you in the room here. And in our community, no space to you over here. The way you have any people where they have you work looking at that. And no space can be there. I have speaking to you as a humanitarian organization here to come and see our needs.
Okay, is it your first time on the show?
Yeah.
Okay, call your number.
Why you say the guy in the yard again?
He said they have a well, but then the well is open and it's not safe. So they're calling on the Humanitarian Foundation to go and recondition their well.
So what they do as a community to fix it?
Yeah.
Right.
So you, the community dwellers, what are you doing as a people in making sure that the well is protected?
Yeah, we try our possible best. In my training, yeah.
Trying your best in what way? What are some of the things? What are some of your best you're trying?
Choose ready. Where you get tap for it. More to can put it there.
You put tap the book, you can't take the tap from there.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell him something and let him know that they themselves need to have a fundraiser, raise the money as a community and fix it. Then it will be so important to them because sometimes if free things don't work. Now if you're doing the fundraiser, call us. Maybe we'll help to make some contributions towards it. But we want you to take the lead and start that fundraiser, then we can come in. So for new caller calling today, you get $500.
Call your number. 0888.
15.
Take the time. 50 or 60. Which one?
50.
50.
41.
41.
46.
46.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Actually, if he can hear us when we're talking to him, he
can hear you. He can only hear me. Okay. So let me take this person. Good evening. Hello. Your name and where you call from?
My name is Fatu Dewe. I live in a city. I often to my living. So my God, thank you. Let me use your number to call.
You're not using your president domain number.
No. I said I have all the numbers here, Fatu. I have all the numbers. You cannot. I want new callers. Look at this.
Hello, I get it.
You hearing me? You're in noise. You gotta leave the noise.
Why is it?
You have to leave the noise. Okay. So, like I said, you have to be a new caller and you have to use your number.
Yeah, new caller. But I don't have any money in my own phone.
Yeah, but you can't use another person's phone to call. You can.
So let me take this person. Good evening.
Yeah.
Let me get this person through. I can get you. Good evening. Good evening. Hello. I'm not getting you two as well. I don't know what is it. Let me go back to this person and get this call right here coming through. Good evening. Good evening. The lines are jamming. This person. Oh my God. 0770573477. 0770573477. 0881 871-670. This person right here. Good evening. I'm okay. Anime, where you call from?
I'm Mamudu S. Jupe 44 Coming Highway, Sabi Community.
Mamudu Dukle?
Yes.
Mamudu, you been on the show before?
Yes, I'll call from Broadway Banner.
Yeah, I know
you now.
Yeah, but you been on the show before. Go ahead, let's just hear you. You're
no, not before. How long he called? How long? Every month.
Seniors coming.
This is the third week now in the month.
Yeah, seniors coming. Go ahead.
Yes, because on the highway, on a bad coming, so I started on field, so but never know. Correct. So I just on it.
Okay, let's hear you quickly.
Yes, I was like the honor discussion now, but I'm not trying to show you because they never not stable, right?
Okay, then
hello?
We have to leave you. Let me get this person. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, this is Social, and I'm calling you from the Orlando.
You say your name is?
Social.
I'm not getting your name properly. Go ahead.
My name is Social Tar.
Francis Tar.
Francis Tar.
Yeah, Francis Tar.
Function. FUNSHINE.
Function Tar.
Yeah, TAR.
Tar. Go ahead, Function.
Yeah, we got a way in our place. We got the way at ourselves, and we do not have money to put the covers into it. So it is a way that we open, we talk, and we just carry the blocks around it and put the top over it. Yeah, because sometimes, the dry time, the water ability really give us hard time. It is a real area of us getting water from. So we got a way in the place. Everybody in the place that they are all using the well, but my worry here, the well needs to be changed so that when people using it, they will be okay.
Okay. So you you have a well. It is dug but no covered.
Yeah, no covered in it. So we just need bricks around it and brought it up
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a shadow well.
Okay, I got a question for him. Is they have a community leader, community organization in that, or a community leader in that area?
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all have community leaders in that place? Y'all got a community association there?
Yeah, we have a community leader, but in our community, the leader will ever probably come even reach to the community, they really don't take it serious. So you will really in need of it, you gotta just do it as you or what God gives you, so you can do it because you need of it. Yeah.
So who dug the well for you guys? Yourself? Who dug the well?
The way we ourselves dug the well. Yeah. We dug the well because the water bill was getting the faster. So we dug the well and laid bricks around it and we fix on top and just put it over it. But we do not have the money to purchase the cover to place it in it.
Okay. I agree with you, but what I'm saying, I'm just trying to make sure that because sometimes it's good for us to have these things on our own, like some community, like fundraiser to raise money to get sand and cement, and you can fix it yourself. The same way you put the blocks around it. Because sometimes I believe when people come and do this thing free, the community mess it up because 5 cents is not from the community. So I just asking this question because sometimes you can raise the money for cement, you can raise the money and do it yourself. And then other people can come in. But if we just come down and say, "Okay, we're going to help you guys and do it," do you think people are going to really respect the work? You think you can have a fundraiser and invite us and maybe we can participate and say, "Okay, yes, maybe we want to do something too." So we want to see what the community is doing. And, not just to just do everything free, free, free.
Actually, the way to forget that we try to do that, but the people in the community, they will come by saying that water is God, the Lord will give it. They start saying all kinds of things. All right, and so I believe that we have the water in very good care of this. It will also be a great help for us.
Okay.
Put your name on the list and see what do.
All right. So, Jeff, please remind the callers to also follow and subscribe.
And also tell them about the network and other stuff. Yeah.
So you can also follow us on Facebook, Care Network on Facebook, KEAR is or Care Radio 95.9, and then on YouTube, Care Communications Network. What read your number?
My number is 0777.
0777. Hello. Are you there?
But you can see a number, Jeff. You know his number that you can see there.
Oh, let me take this person out. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Marina Bobo.
Marina Bobo from where? Okay, Marina, let's hear you.
Yeah, what I want to tell me before this,
Okay. You been following the show?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a guest in studio. We're talking about water and sanitation. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to tell you, thank you for everything that you said today. I always learned from it.
What did you learn? What are some of the things you learned? What are some of the things you've learned?
Yeah, to learn how to take care of my surrounding, my environment.
Are you been following the show? You sure?
Yeah.
Ask for a number, not to ask for a number. Ask her she following the network. What she listening to radio or she watching us on Facebook? Which one? Or YouTube?
She left already. Let's hear you.
Yeah. I call from the Marisba
Romeo, you call from where? Crew Town?
I call from Crew Town, Marisba.
Okay, Romeo, let's hear you.
Yeah, I mean, the CEO. I want to just continue to do the good work as a mayor and a follower of TMA. I get hired on that station.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting me?
I'm hearing you. We're hearing you. Go ahead.
You getting me?
You're live. We're hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay, I have the CEO so request. Are you getting me?
What kind of request? We're talking water and sanitation. Are you following the show?
Following the show is we get a better more sanitation and thank you for economic generation.
Okay. So what can we do when it comes to water? All the things you've said. What have you learned? All the things yes I've said. What did you understand?
Yeah, the problem out there is we feel very well because somebody feels some of the world and be there community people come, they help us, they do that thing. We can just to do any kind of way, even if we section before instead of putting money together, we'll be waiting for the same people, so at least we should try hard to that someone help us in the budget to be able to help us there. Are you getting me?
I'm getting you.
Anyway, my recommendation I'm talking about to the CEO. Anyway, as I'm speaking to you, I'm a nurse. We have our help organization, student help NGO. You know me, I reading public health, so we will let for you to help us in the process. Because sometimes we in the community will do awareness on help. So for you to help in the process, also, we can print our flyer, but sometimes we give this because going from one area to another, you can be tested. So we are asking the CEO to help us in that process to at least to be able to buy us or whatever they want to see.
Wow.
Just go ahead, take his number. What we're doing now is an assessment process.
Give me your name. You say your name is
that before we can.
Romeo S. We are.
Romeo S. We are. Okay, Romeo, read your number.
0770
770
10
10
50
50
51.
51. Thank you so much, Romeo. And follow. You say you're following Care Network?
Yeah, they're following we actually maybe I start following Care Radio at the time you are there.
Oh, Asia, bro, we are here. Thank you so much. Okay, this person on the line.
I know.
Hello?
Hello, your name, where you call from, ma'am?
Yeah, she's talking Marina Bobo.
Oh, Marina Bobo. Okay, Marina, just read your number, yeah, because we have other people on the line. 0
2.
Take your time. 077. Somebody talking behind you. You know your own number?
Yeah, you get it.
077 222 0
996.
996. Somebody, okay, tell the person thank you. Marina, you following Kia Radio on Facebook?
No.
So you have to take your phone now and search for KEAR, Kia Radio. You'll see Kia Radio 95.9. Follow
Kia Radio.
KEAR.
That's Kia Network. That's not Kia Radio.
No,
on Facebook.
On Facebook, Radio. We are on Kia Radio. And they're on YouTube, Kia Communications Network.
Yeah,
okay, thank you so much. Let me get this person right here. Good evening.
Taking the name of the people who asked them to call. You're taking the names down.
Say your name is?
Samson P. Barry. Call to
Samson P. Barry. You've been following the show?
Yes. Yeah, they follow the show, sir.
Okay. Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, we say thank you to the student guest. We say all this we say everything all that we need to hear concerning well sanitation. But you see, I have a work in a community, like a secretary, near the way in all the time of this one. So you know, this that you have to know. So at least I'm breaking every kind of community to educate people.
You said wait, come and take a time. You said where is the well situated? Where is the well situated?
The well before a separator is up and the well is down. Okay. Yeah. The next plan you find this one where you see the well use a separator to the swamp. You not put a plug to the swamp and right in between the well. Yeah. Wow. So it'd be better at least kind right in the community at least so the real the I need to put that on. Yeah, because you see, in the other side, the water can't wear water is very brown. And nobody cares about
Okay. All right, so we gotta take a break. Let the studio guests comment on some of these.
So let hold the call, take his number down.
Let's go to the out. Real number.
Yeah. Let me give you my brother number. Sure.
Your brother number?
Yeah, you got 3 phone.
No, the number I move, so I gave my cousin number.
Go ahead.
Yeah, 40
40
55
55
33.
33. Who recommend you? Who told you to call?
Now one Ralph they calling the show. Ralph told me to call.
Ralph?
Yeah, Ralph called me. He want to call. They're calling the show.
Ralph.
He told me to call.
Okay, Ralph. All right. Follow us on Facebook at Kia Radio.
Okay, let's go to the guests. Let's go to our guests.
Kelvin,
you just heard one of the things you talk about. These people in the community, they got the latrine up the hill and they get it well down the hill. So it make me think. He admitted, he said people need to go in the community and educate these people because everybody was just digging well.
Yeah.
All over the place, right near the graveyard, right near the latrine. Imagine from the time you talk about the whole latrine up the hill, it like you go in the interior, you see down the stream, the water coming in the man way up the hill doing a little. So please come in and say something. I beg you.
All right. So Kevin, before you come in, before you come in, look, this is a very serious concern.
It is.
I mean, you just started to hit the practical issues. We look forward to having the Water and Sewer Corporation coming in tomorrow. So I mean, it's coming in some days so that we can have a real team to discuss the major challenge that is facing our people. I know you heard the callers making most of their points. You talk about a lot of issues with respect to the risk that we take with water and the wells that we create. One of the issues I think that we also level, I mean, people brought about that too, is the issue of latrine too. The latrine that we also dig all around too. There are a lot of stuff that come from there that affect even our water system. So you can also see that most of our discussion today is really centered on water. I'm looking forward next week that we can discuss more on sanitation. But let me give you a chance with what the callers have said and the issue of the latrine also in the community. How does that affect also the problem that we are faced with?
Okay, so from a standpoint, I believe we're going to dwell more on water because the sanitation aspect, the latrine aspect is there. Honestly, it's there, but then equally so, it does not have too many problems as compared to the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So I go remember 2014 when I was with UNICEF, we had a project. ACI had a project with UNICEF they call the 50% project. So UNICEF was only providing the materials to you. For example, they give you the steel, they give you the cement, and we go and do the slabs.
Mm-hmm.
We have done the slabs. You got to do your building. So if we don't see the building erected or we don't see you having your bricks, we don't see the hole, we're not going to give you the slabs. Now, I'm relating this to what that guy just said. They dug a well in a community, they put tap on it and they put ready, they will carry the tap. We have to take our own initiative, honestly speaking. The dependency syndrome in Liberia is too much. We depend on people too much for things. And now, in your community, like he was saying, the essence of digging well is to provide safe drinking water. That's the reason you dug the well. Now, after you have done the well, the next thing you need to do, in fact, you should have even dug that well when you don't have the coverts.
Mm-hmm.
Because, honestly speaking, like I said, right, if you look at some shallow wells, you will see almost like they got some kind of swamp. You see almost like the way the rib bone looking like they got a swamp flower. You see it in the well.
Yeah. I know you're talking about it.
Talking about, right?
On the wall. Yeah.
Look, it's growing on the wall. Then you got the equipment called the algae, which is the water mold.
Mm-hmm.
That green mold, algae. You got the algae, you see all on the wall. But yet people are drawing and drinking. They are enjoying themselves. So in this life, you have a community, and in this community, you got more than 100 houses in the community that are fed from this identical well. Why can't you rally around? What is the depth of the well? How many covers will it take? Even if you say each house bring $500 Liberian dollars. If you look at doing the cover, because we got two types of cover. We got a regular standard cover for NGOs, and we got the standard cover for individuals. The individuals cover is 3 feet circumference. And the NGO cover is 4 feet circumference. 4x2. So it's 4x2. So now, since you're in a community and you're not able to go at the NGO standard level, what you need to do is that tax each household, taxing them $500 Liberian, get a committee set up that will collect that money, start to buy the crush rack. They got people who sell crush rack at the community level in bags. Because we're in Liberia, we can see it. People sell crush rack at the community level in bags. People sell sand in bags. Cement is available. You got cement depot all around the place. So for your own safety, take on your initiative and see how you can fund your project. Yeah. If you are funding the project, you are resetting level and you get stuck, or you can ask somebody, say, oh, I have washed my front, but please help me to scratch my back. Then it works from that point.
Okay.
But you can't come, that dependency syndrome, we not get well. You can put one way for all. We not get well. Nobody want to take the initiative. Everybody want to relax themselves and they have things going. And it doesn't work like that. That one aspect is, so we got to go back to the 50% project issue to see how we can handle it from that side. That one. Number two, that thing I got talking about, the latrine.
the septic tank in the swamp.
Thank you.
Double jeopardy.
Yeah.
They're not small rich. I think that they're taking that you're going guiding in the process.
Tell you, my man.
I will not lie to you, because honestly speaking, you can't have a well you can have a toilet up, then you have a well down.
If you're at the same level.
Yeah. Then everything that coming from up is going directly in that well. It's going into that well. And trust me, people will not get sick on the spot, but gradually people will start getting sick. So that well should be condemned. Because if you look at the sanitation route, that well should be condemned.
Eric asking why we can invite some more Ali and other people that are knowledgeable about water and sanitation on the planet.
Yeah. No, before sorry to cut you short up, or Kevin. I mean, Eric is saying he's right on point. One thing that we also want to let Eric and others know is that those who are affected by the issues that we are talking about are the Liberian people. We have a time that definitely the what you call Mo Ali and others will be coming up. We will definitely raise these issues, because these are issues that they are aware of. People are listening to us and they will come and talk about these things here. But we want to also be able to, that the bread and butter people who definitely know the issues, who are being impacted by the gaps that we have in our water and sanitation system, and that what creates the crisis. So the people who are affected by it, as we hear them, that's how we raise the issue further with the government. So
to add to your point, Andrew, we're talking to the primary sources, all right?
Yeah.
Mo Ali is not drinking. He's not drinking pump water.
No,
he's not drinking. So what we're doing now is an assessment process.
Yes.
Then after that, we can invite them and say, these are some of the concerns that the community or the other people gave. What is your take, or what are you doing? So we get your comment, in the introductory or rudimentary aspect of this conversation of inviting Mo Ali. We are hearing from the community or the people that are being affected by it. Yes. Yeah. So yes, we got your point or your concern, but we're going to address it. And moreover, the government officials are very careful on coming on shows like this, because they think they're going to get in trouble with their bosses or whoever elected in offices or whatever. So that's another.
And Kevin, you're doing extremely well. That's why I say you're being very practical with the issue. This is devoid of politics. This is about what affects you and myself, the risk that the entire society is running, and your experience and your contribution from the private sector, the public sector, the government involvement with this. It gives a broader view to even the callers and to the Eric who is listening. All of these, we are trying to lift these concerns so that the government itself can also come in tomorrow. Thank you.
And so coming back to that latrine issue, we need to pour extra that hand pump, that well issue, we need to pour extra it, because other than that, we have an outbreak. That community continues. We have an outbreak. So the next thing they need to do is that, everybody in Morovia pay for their plot of land. Mm-hmm. They need to go to a community meeting and talk to somebody who have a good land, and then do the engagement process and see how they can reinstate a new well. Because if they don't do it, honestly speaking, there'll be an outbreak. There'll be a serious outbreak. So what will happen is that they got to do an MOU with that person, because I have similar issue in my area. Behind my house, there's a lady called Moise looking inside on the second. No, I'm just saying something. So water A Liberia came, and this well, we did this well with cover in it. We all were drawing from the well. So when water A came, water A saw the need that they needed to attach hand pump to the well. So it was very easy. What they did was they called the lady, you got this well, and then you have already done cover in it. So we purchased a hand pump and put it there, but we signed an MOU with you that the community people also will partake in drawing of this well. So if you agree, we'll come. If you don't agree, we move to the next person who has similar work like this. We improve it, and people go there and draw. So she accepted. We signed an MOU, and then the hot water aid went there and installed a hand pump on that well. Today, the community is benefiting from it. Myself, that year, I did a bucket seat. I did a bucket seat because when you do the well, normally you just do the well with a cover on it, and as you pump in the water, sometimes it flashes on the cover or goes back in the bucket. And that's now also good. So myself took my little trowel, took my little cement, few pieces of bricks. I erected the structure, set it up, did my bucket seat. That when the water comes, it goes directly in the bucket or the top. It's not flashing or anything. And sometimes myself go to the pump there, loosen it up, clean it, repair it, and then pour it back. So that's what I do. So they also need to go back to the community leader, meet the community people, talk to somebody who got a good, first slave of land, and then see how they can get it done. But that well.
All right. Gerald, you want to add anything?
Yeah.
So we can go back in studio.
Yeah, we'll go back. Kevin said it. For those of you who are listening to us, if you're going to call, just get to the point and give your contribution and tell us how you get your water in your area, where is your well located. And like what Kevin is saying, and that is what we've been preaching about. Yes, we would love to put well in your area, but we want to do it along with you. We want you to be part of it. We want you to do the fundraiser, because what are you doing as a community? We need to help. We can't continue to depend on people to do these things for us. And also remember, it's your health. Like when I'm sitting thinking about this latrine thing, it's like we live in an era with the typhoid and all kinds of diseases right in our community. How are we going to relocate that well? You got to come together as a community leader, according to Kevin, and then see to find a suitable place that you can go again. And look, we got to put ourselves to work, my people. We beg you. We beg you. So when you call in, just hit the point and tell us where you're calling from. Tell us if you're following us, who gave you the information, and say something. We want to hear from you. And then by the grace of God, we'll get Mo Ali on, like one of my friends just said. Mo Ali drinks mineral water right now. I bet you he's not drinking water from the bag. And most of them go and buy the mineral water from the thing. So, but we wanted to come and say something to us. And Kelvin, you are just on point. And sanitation is almost part of it, where the latrine and all kinds of things. But the water is very important. Water is human right. Water is health, and we need it. We need good water in Liberia. That is what killing our people. Open the line. Let's see. Come in. Someone come in.
The numbers are 0770573477. We're taking calls, like the general said. We need you to tell us, the situation you face with when it comes to water in your area. This person, good evening. Good evening. Your name, where you go?
The same person.
Okay.
Function tar.
Yeah, function tar. Go ahead.
Yeah, my number is 777.
Yeah.
37
01
5.
05.
Yeah.
All right, function. You just got to give your number. And thank you so much. Let me get this person. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I think let me get you. Good evening. Getting feedback. Please move away from your monitor. 0777. This person right here. Good evening. Leave the line. 0770573477 081 871-670. We're talking water and sanitation. +231 886 681198. And we have a studio guest today. He's a sanitation expert, and you listen to him. For those of you who've been following, we don't just when you say, "Oh, somebody gave me the number," to just call this number. Tell us the situation you face with in your community. What let's hear you. This person, good evening. Good evening, sir. Yes, your name and where you call from?
I'm Alex Royal Okoko, calling from 20th Street, Simca.
Ellen, you say your name is?
Alex Royal Okoko.
Alex Okoku.
Alex Okoko.
All right, Alex, let's hear you.
Yeah, this is my first time on the show, right? Yeah. I was invited by one Moses Flomo.
Moses Flomo from?
Yeah. Also follow you from YouTube.
Oh, you follow us from YouTube?
Exactly, sir.
Okay, let's hear you, Moses Flomo. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the water sanitation discussion in studio, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very happy that while you not drink like to hear about, because especially in Liberia, you don't get good water only by the grace of God. So I'm very happy for this water discussion in studio there already.
So in your community, tell us, do you have a well in your community?
We have a hand pump there. For dry time, we find it difficult already, especially during the dry time.
So just give her a vivid location. Describe, the area. Where is your well situated? The area it is. The condition.
20th Street, the red leg on 20th Street, where the place former Vida Hotel or behind it. That's where I reside.
And that's where the hand pump is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, thank you so much. Just read your number.
Yes,
0880
1487
1487 30. Okay, Alex, you say follow us on YouTube. So don't forget to follow us also on Facebook at Kia Radio 95.9. Okay, this person, good evening. Good evening. Please, hello. Leave the monitor. Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, hello, I'm Joe Jeru.
Your name is?
Joe Jeru.
Joe Jeru.
Yeah, Jeru.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe. Is this your first time on the show?
Yeah, it's my first time, but I'm following you on Facebook.
Okay, Facebook.
And with you also, I can also share the video.
Thank you. You've been following. Let's hear you. What's the contribution? What do you know so far with all the conversation we've been having?
Yeah. For my area where I live, we have hand pump. But we take the hand pump here us because hand pump export. So we take it on now. We take the draw the water and then the last rainfall, the dirty water can go in the well and the trees. So the water all the well they can go in the well. So we have to come in to help us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our studio guest is listening to you. I know he's gonna make a point on that. Okay.
Yeah.
You say you follow us on Facebook already?
Yeah, Joe Jeru.
Okay. Joe, read your number quickly. 776
43
33 or 43?
43
43
47
47
01.
All right. So
yeah.
The guest will speak to that. Let me get this person right here. Good evening. Leave the line for the other people. 0770573477. So we have Eric Paris from the US. Let me get Eric. Eric is from the US and he wants to join the conversation. Just give me a minute. Let me get Eric through. Eric, you're live on the show this evening, and I'd like to say thank you again and welcome. Eric, I think you're low. We're not getting you. You want to increase it? Yeah, you're better now. Yes, you're better now. CEO, can you hear Eric?
Can you hear me, CEO?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
All right, I'm sorry if you're not hearing me.
We're hearing you. Go ahead, we're hearing you.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. The issue of water is a serious issue, not just water, but sanitation. Our country, we almost 200 years old and we still do not have water. We do not have area to even use when it comes to the bathroom. Let's talk it like that, right? One of the reports that we have, laid our hands on to read are horrible reports about people doing open defecation, people drinking from the creeks, people drinking from unsafe wells. These are not things that we should be discussing in the 21st century with a country that has nearly $1 billion and less and around 5 million people. It's about time that we prioritize these things. And I raised the issue about this platform drinking the water and sewer boards to hold it accountable. But I was told it's an assessment, that you guys are doing. To hear from the primary sources or victims. But the question is, how accurate would that data be? Because you sit in the radio and people call. It's better that you go into the community with your cameras where you will meet the direct victims, and interview them and get the raw information you need. Anybody could be in the comfort in Paris or any part of the world and call and tell you, say, oh, I get water issue or I get this, or somebody sitting out somewhere who is not even a victim will call, because I'm hearing people talking about mobile money thing. One librarian may hear money involved and engage on stories. Sometimes the actual victims, I'm telling you, my brother, sometimes the actual victims will not be the one that they will be impacted. This is Liberia for us. Okay. So I commend your platform for even making these stories, because many times we are just centered on politics, what they say, what the president says, and we're not on the real issues like water, the health, other things that you guys have covered. That's why I do my best to follow you people. But there's a need that you go to the community with your camera, and make sure you get water and sewer people. Let's hold them accountable, not just to say, oh, we want to hear the side. No, it's to hold them accountable. We pay taxes in Liberia, and our taxes must be practicalized in the lives of the people. We can have 90% of our people drinking unsafe water in Liberia, and we think it's okay. Or people doing open defecation. Do you know what that means to the country? Health issues. People talking about going up the hill, where down the all those kind of things still happening. Those things happen in Toba Town, in Todman Town, and it's still pervasive. Then what the essence of Liberian being rescued? If we'll still be having the same problem. So that's just the input I thought to make. But thank you for the show.
And is that Eric, right?
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, Eric. Yeah, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Eric, can you hear? Can you hear Mr. Kia?
No, you can relay for me, please. I'm not hearing.
Mr. Kia, just go out relay.
Yeah, I just want to again add to his comments he's been making on the radio, and even to hear him out. We are Liberians, and we are all being affected by all of these things. This is an open discussion. It's a continued topic that we will talk about. Someday he has the time, like he come in the studio, we'll all talk about these. But definitely these are major concerns that we are raising, so that we can also invite the government, sit with them, and talk. Let the government be able to assure the Liberian people as to where they are with all of these concerns. I've always said that if you do not have a healthy population, you are taking a risk as a leader. So this is a concern that we are going through, that we will invite the very government people. Getting there is a difficult time, but we'll get them. But let's be discussing these things, and we have all of our data. We have our people in the field. all of this will be shown to them that government will be able to also be able to clarify to the people. So we appreciate his contribution, the continued contribution. Let him make time to also come and walk and talk about this.
Yeah, I think he
I got him. But this is what I want to say, right? Let's take for example what happened in Wapulu of recent. This speaks to the fact of how mediocre our government is, and not just unique to the Unity Party government, but almost all government. The president drove from Monrovia way to Wapulu to go dedicate one way or how to call it, borehole that will save few people in the community. And the media, you guys should have gone down there to assess the impact and look at the cost analysis that they said they spend, because the taxpayer money, we can just take the government say they spend 250,000. You know, I really envy the West media, man. So we just have media just for talk show. We don't do investigative journalism. We should have by now known the impact of that water, how fortunate it is, how safe it is. Those are things that we expect from media institution. But I just see media, thank you, Mohali, and think these people so mediocre in their activities. And, President go caught raping for something that we got basic or almost no idea about. So these are unfortunate issues. We have to be investigative in our country. That's the only way Liberia will progress is for us to hold these people accountable. Hold them accountable. And not be every day going to the victim. Let's hold them accountable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you see what Eric just said, and I agree with him. Yeah. We love to glorify people, especially when you are paid to do a particular work. It's not free. When we put you into a position and we want you to make sure that things are okay when you do it, and we say, "Oh, thank you, Andrew Kia, you're doing good." So what we got Andrew Kia for? What we pay you for? And I see that over Facebook all the time. And most of the people who send it thank you messages are not the common Liberians. These are all educated people and will try to pick sides, and but I tell you, you can do whatsoever. Once it's not for me personally, I don't have to say thank you. We pay you. Like if you go to the passport director right now and say, "Oh, thank you very much, you're doing good." Nobody's stealing passport. Hey, we pay you to do that work. And I don't know. And he's right in a sense. The frustration is too much, Andrew. The frustration is in the country too much. So we hope things will work up the way it's supposed to be. Andrew, Chris, you have anything? And then we can go back to our guests or go back to the phone lines.
No, I just wanted to add to what Eric said. This platform, we actually not afraid of the government or government officials. They don't want to actually, retrieving to have a conversation with us.
They're running from us.
We've been sending requests for government officials to come on the phone or on the platform here to state their points or their positions or whatever, but we haven't, received anybody from their end. So we open, the lines are open, the platform is available. If they want to come, they'll have a conversation. But in the meantime, we want to also talk to the citizenry that are in the position are experiencing these problems that we're discussing. So that's why we want to talk to them first before, encouraging the government to come on the line and talk whatever they want to say, or what they are undertaking are going to be doing in the communities and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. We have gone 1 hour 45 minutes so far. We got 15 more minutes to go, and we'll be closing up. And let's go back to our panelists, to our guests, and hear from him again. And Kelvin, you've been digging wells, you've been doing things for people. If I were ask you right now, why the government only concentrate on okay, now we are NGOs, non-profit, and we want to put a well. If we go to this group that come and do the assessment or to check the water to see if it's okay, why they try to charge NGOs to do all these things? Why they charging when we're doing it free?
Well, with that situation, it comes like this. Like I said, when it comes to do instrument that you need to do the water quality analysis, government always depends on people to provide those chemical to do their research work. So you see that at the county level, the man will say, we don't have reagent, we have to buy it and do this and do that. So at the end of the day, you have to pay something. But if you're coming straight, for example, you're coming straight, let's look at UNICEF. UNICEF coming to do well. UNICEF is only partnership with government to help government to do what she needs to do. So UNICEF will tell them, MFA will take the responsibility to do this, and we take the responsibility to do that. And that's how I go. Well, if you as a private person say, yeah, I want to know my water stand, meaning that at the end of the day, you have to pay money for that. So
And
that's how
so for us, if we're going to put well in a community that we're doing it for them free, we have to pay we have to pay MFA to come and check that water.
So what you need to do is that if you decide to go to do the very first thing is that the dialogue meeting will be all to provide the details information on how to operate. For example, you're doing 4 boreholes, right?
Yeah.
You're doing 10 dog well. Tell government how own the portion. Government has her own role to play. And you having your funding, you have your own role to play. So when it comes to the testing, the environmentalists to be there on the ground to see what's going on, the government on the road there. So the only thing they will tell you is that maybe if that, for example, it's a workshop where you have to train the pump technician, train other people. If that man is leaving from his office to come and let DSA be in, honestly speaking. You gotta do that man DSA.
Which one? Yeah. Can you give it? How you call that again?
A DSA, you gotta do a DSA. The days the man will be coming there for, right?
Yeah. The allowance in the field.
Yeah. So the man is in the field with you. And then the man leaving off a man, you don't want to get a man date. I hope that man will be in the field with you. You gotta gain Sonny. Yes, will be in the field. So that's how it look like. And moreover, you get to understand that when it reach to that point, they will not stop. They will be there through all, collect the water sample, everything, do the water testing, come back to you, bring all your documentation to you, and then you move on with your well. Because that is the standard. Once you have done that, anything happen in the future, they don't want to give you paper. You don't know water testing, Benny. They don't want to know their work. So you have to go through that procedures. So that's how it looks like. So that's why more often in a dialogue meeting, the person will tell you, say, I get my money. But you as a person who are coming to work for, you got to do the one to. So at the community level, you see that will tell the community people say we want local materials. The community initiative there. So the local materials like the sand, the rock, the community can provide that. But most often when we're doing our covers, we don't do it with ladder rock. We do cover with the crushed rock to have solid concrete. Yeah. So that's how it's looking like. So that man, when I make coming to be with you, just know that it says that I met with you. That says that you gotta find his sonny for the 6th day. You're going to leave him off in the field with you. In that training, you gotta find something for him for the days he will be conducting that training. Though you got your wash officer who will be in the field with wash activity, but then the environmentalist will also be with him. The technician will have to be with him for them to conduct. Like at the county level, you will see somebody from public works. You will see somebody from wash. Because now it's divided now. Wash left for public work, wash on our own.
Oh, okay.
But wash is on our own right now.
Right. When I was at public work, it used to be a public works. Yeah.
It should be on
Kevin, where do you live?
I live 72nd SKD Boulevard around the Martin Chevy Trent.
Okay. And so what you do right now? You work for a company or you got your own business or what do you do?
No, I'm not working for a company. We're on a hand to more level right now. Yeah.
So Eric said something, Jeremy. He asked, he made a
point
comment where that Liberia now should gravitate from, this digging of well and invest into safe pipe-borne water. What do you have to say to that? There's too much digging of wells and what have you, and start to just provide water for everybody.
Yeah. So what happened is that that's a good one, but like I just said, the Liberian government depend on donor funding. And later, USA adding now close their window to us. So you see what happening? So you will always see people still coming back until government can balance herself, go back to our budget, look at some other issues, cut them down. Those that are very high, and look at them and look at where the needs, need to be met.
Okay.
And they portion money for that because sanitation is key. It's very key. You're not well, you can go to work. You can be president, you can be whosoever. You will definitely go to work. Trust me for that. So once you look at where you got a lot of money and you have to divert some from there and put it to where you think it's going to work. So what he said was right. We need to gravitate from that level to another level. Liberia is by far older than a lot of countries around us here.
Oh yeah, in Africa.
In Africa.
Not by far, Liberia is the oldest. Look, to add to our panelists' comment just me, I know we'll do our closing shortly. I mean, when we talked about that, like what Eric talked about, even all of these little filling of gaps that people have been highlighting, for me, it's a shame. It's a big shame to the government. We should not be seeing these things. After the war, we do know that the country had its own infrastructure when it comes to water and sanitation. And after the 14 years of civil war, of course, there has never been any major maintenance to be able to rehabilitate all of these things. Now, it's about time. It's about time. He's right. It's about time that the government, this is not a dependency syndrome on the international community. It's about time that government invested so much in this whole the infrastructure that is required for water and sanitation. Anything short of that, we are only on a money ourselves, and then we will still be going through the same traditional method, this whole way back method of being trying to save situation in that direction. And all we are doing, we are still adding more problems to this whole issue of the widespread open defecation we are talking about. So it's shameful that we have to be talking about it, but trust me, this is the time now. Government needs to see where it has fallen short. Look at even what we had as the master plan yesteryear, and embark on these things and invest more funding in the sector to be able to improve the entire water and sanitation system.
And another thing, as much as government cannot produce water to every resident in the country, and I think government can regulate these things. Or before you put a well, call us. We don't have to pay. Let's be honest. Even all that thing we're laughing about it. If you're going to spend 1 hour on a fee, you already got a salary. So government need to help, because if you don't do that, I don't have a water in my place. I would just put a well anywhere because I think I need water, and we go and say, oh, we can boil the water before using it. But you don't know. Right? I think government will come and say, listen, before you put a well down, just call us, let us do some tests. Or if you go this way, we can do some tests. But when people think about paying you to come out, if I'm doing business, it's a different thing. Yes, we got a water place in Broadway. We'll pay for all these people to come and do all the tests and take it to the lab. We went to different labs. We went to just to get a wonderful water to go through. But there are other people who dug a lot of wells all over the place. That is why the typhoid, the malaria, the diarrhea, everything is coming from. If government could just get involved and help us, it will be better. But it is a shame that Kelvin explaining all these things and nobody regulating, nobody going around, no inspectors. They only concentrate on businesses, people who do water business. You will see them going to all the small water companies, but they would never come in the regular area and say, let's check your well, let's see what is going on. And also to those of you who live in the community, please, you need to do something. Eric said something here. If every house will pay 500 Liberian dollars, you can fix yourself, you can maintain your well. Not everything got to be free. Things that are free, you don't never maintain it. So we all need to help and do something. Do something, please. Let us help ourselves, because if you wait for the government, it's not going to come easily. Please, it's not going to come in. We almost spend the time. It's just one more 4 minutes. Maybe we can the last 2 callers, and we'll finish with it, and then we can do our closing quick.
Okay, so let me go to the lines and get this person right here. We take 2 more calls and then we call it a day. This person right here, Good evening. Good evening. Please.
Yes.
Your name and where you call from?
My name is Albert Benedict Cole, and I call you from Town, Scotland Road.
Albert Benigo?
Benedict Cole. Benedict.
Oh, Benedict Cole. Albert. Benedict Cole.
Yeah.
Let's hear you, Benedict.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm grateful to Care Network, Care Radio, and this program to give the citizens the opportunity to speak on issues affecting them. This is my second time listening. The first time I listened was my first time I however, I listen to all of you, listen to the guests on the show on sanitation. Well, it's just hard to describe the appalling conditions in our country. Sanitation is just one component of how things are moving. The problems are affecting the Liberian people. And sanitation, just as you have said, is key. We are completely vulnerable. As a matter of fact, Monrovia is so congested, it's overpopulated, it has become a complete hazard. So, sanitation is completely no good drinking water.
Yeah.
And you have to have water in some of the communities like mine is a selling place. They put down from there. It's like 40 water, and you hardly even get it. It affects our skin to buy how much more into the system. So it's just by the grace of God that we are just surviving. But as you said, by and large, all these things depend on the national government. For example, if the husband and the wife in the home cannot regulate and control that home, or the mother say that home will not use anything. So what is true with the citizens who have our own responsibility, but the bulk rests on the government. We need to be very frank with that. But it is something for us.
Okay. All right. We have to go. Just
you got his number there. You got his number and everything.
Just read a number quickly. 0886
556
556
338
338. Thank you so much, Benedict. Let me get this person. You seem our last caller. Person. Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah, my name is Fatu. I'm from
Fatu, you called.
Oh my.
Fatu, you called earlier. Just read your number. You called earlier.
07.
Read it. 077.
5.
Yeah.
6. 24.
24.
85.
85.
2.
2. Okay, Fatu, thank you so much. I'll just squeeze this person in and we'll call it a day. You, the last caller.
I don't know why you're making it squeezing in. Go ahead.
You, the last caller. You have 30 seconds. Let's hear you. This person is not ready. General, we have to go. This person is not ready.
Thank you very much. Those of you who are listening, we say you should call, and we understand everybody fighting to call, everybody trying the best. Continue to follow us on YouTube. When you go to YouTube, subscribe. It's Kia Network. Don't make it too long. But once you put in Kia Network, you see it popping up, and you subscribe. And also on Facebook, it's the same thing, Kia Network. And then you can follow and like the program. And also follow this show. We're here to give you the best possible. And this is the Kia Humanitarian Organization. And our CEO is Christopher Kier, and I'm your host, Munal Kishan, co-host Andrew, and our guest here today is Kelvin. And Kelvin, can you give us your closing and what advice you have for our people? We'll try to see if we can bring you on here again, because this sanitation and water, we talk about water today, and we stay asking Mo Ali and others, even if you're from the city hall, come and talk to your people. Maybe you have something to say, and you are the one cleaning the city for some sanitation. Imagine all the words that near Sony when what's going to happen. So, Kelvin, give us your closing. From there, we'll go to Andrew and then the CEO, and then we call it a day.
Thank you so much. So, to the audience out there, I want to caution you Don't be deterred. We just need to do the right thing to move forward. And then what I want to say is that for those who living around those places that they have shadow wells, you can use another means. They got something called the peel. The peel is on the market. If you can't get a peel, they got something called the aluminum sulfate. The aluminum sulfate is being sold in the market. It's being used for purification, water purification. So you can use that in your water, and it also require measurement. It also require measurement. Like the water guard that PSI were producing, it also helped the process to get you going. So we want to say we are here. We'll continue coming on the radio. We'll continue pointing out ills that we need to work on as a country, as a people, to move Liberia forward. And the next thing is that before we go through all of what we're going through, to have our key informal interview, we need to also do a baseline survey that will definitely inform on everything that we need to do. Though we're having callers calling, and then we're marking, like I said, their numbers from different communities, and we're having some information about shadow wells, about wells that are covered, about hemp pumps that are being done but crack on the side and what have you. All of those information we're getting them, but we also need to have a team of surveyors who will go in the field. We call them the enumerators, the watch enumerators. We have a training date. We do 1 or 2 days training. We create a tool where we have to use in the field, and then we create a cloud where at the end of the day, when we do the interview in those various communities, we just send it out to the cloud, and we can get it from the cloud and see how we can work with them to get us going. So thank you very much for the time. I must be grateful. I mean, it was good to be on the radio. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelvin. And Andrew?
Yeah, I think it was a very great show today. The health concern topics are very, very necessary for our country. If our society is well, we can all be assured of a tomorrow that we all strive for. But when you have a crisis in terms of health, life becomes very uncertain. And so to see us discussing these topics is only the interest that we have in our own society well-being. It's not also an attempt to undermine government or to criticize government, but the government we brought about the government. So if they're not serving our people in certain sectors, it is our duty to hold them accountable for that. And that's some of the ways that we can also be a partner to them in terms of serving our people right. Water and sanitation has been a key concern or crisis in the country. The other time we're talking about health, we will go back to that concern because they are all intertwined. And I would think that government has made some initiatives in terms of a national plan to improve access to water and sanitation. But what we are seeing here is that the government itself will also be able to have the time to come out and be a part of the platform someday and allay the fears of our people. The Liberian people want to hear from the Water and Sewer Corporation. They want to hear from the Ministry of Public Works. They want to hear from the WASH team. They want to hear from even the city corporations, be it Pinsville or Morovia corporations, or even their branches in the Leeward counties. If we have stakeholders to come and address some of these concerns, what it does is that it allays the fears of our own people. We owe it to them, and so we have to be doing this. We also today, just from our discussion today, there's a key need for community engagement, because when we have the community-based programs, they also help the government in terms of enhancing the awareness the awareness that is needed out there in terms of the poor practices of hygiene, poor hygiene. If government can have all these jingles on radio, the awareness through the community group, all of this is also going to help our people to see exactly which way do we go from here. I think it has been a very great show. Government, we hope to hear from you. We want to thank our guests today that came on, and the Liberian people that are also who are the victim. Your calls that came in today were very encouraging. Those are the working tools that we are looking for, or those are the working concerns that we're looking for to be able to address these things through government. We want to thank you, and we look forward to another show coming on next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And let's go to the CEO.
Yes, I just I don't want to take much of your time. Andrew has said it all, and you guys on the show. But we want to be very particular about the situations we're trying to address here. So we try to also arrive at a solution and also get to know what's actually being affected by these communities in Liberia or in Monrovia, to be specific. So this is a piecemeal exercise, so we can't discuss everything at once. Next week it has its own discussion to be discussed. And we want to say thank you to our studio guests that came in the studio today to give us more understanding of our the situations we face within Liberia concerning the water and sewer, water and sanitation crisis that looming in Liberia, Monrovia to be specific. So next week we'll come here again and also have a nice discussion. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. Kia, for a nice show today, and thanks to the Liberian people.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and for listening to us. And this is Kia Radio 95.9. And don't forget to follow us. And right now, if you're going down and the boulevard, right opposite, right to the junction of SKD Boulevard, you see that beautiful big soundboard that say Kia Radio. And we are on top of things. We want to say thank you for your support. We want to get there. This network is for the people, and this is a non-profit organization, and we want to help our people, but at the same time, we want to push you. We want you to learn. We want help you to know how to fish. We're not just going to do it because the money is coming from our pocket, yes, but you know things that you work for, and you will understand it when you work for it. So if any other initiative, we want the community to get involved. Community organization need to help the communities. So please let us help ourselves. Let us help the government. And there's nothing much to be said. I enjoyed the show, and thanks CEO, thanks to Andrew, and also to our guest and Jefferson. Yes, we had a little difficulties coming on today because it's technology, but thank God that we're able to go through. And we love you all. Don't forget, keep that dial tune, keep tuning into Kia FM, one of the best station right now. I don't care what you say about it. We are on top of things. Thank you very much, and have a blessed week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.